January 29th, 1945. 2:47 p.m. Holtzheim, Belgium. First Sergeant Leonard Funk walks around the corner of a farmhouse and stops dead. 90 German soldiers are staring at him. Half of them are holding weapons. The other half are picking up rifles from a pile on the ground. 4 American GIs kneel in the snow with their hands behind their heads. These Germans were prisoners 20 minutes ago. Now they're free, armed, and organizing to attack Funk's company from the rear. A German officer steps forward, shoves an MP-40 submachine gun into Funk's stomach, screams something in German. Funk doesn't speak German. He has no idea what the officer is saying. The officer screams again, louder, face turning red, veins bulging in his neck. Funk looks at the 90 Germans, looks at his 4 disarmed soldiers, looks at the MP-40 pressed against his gut, and starts laughing. The German officer's face twists with confusion, then rage. He screams louder. Funk laughs harder. What happens next takes less than 60 seconds. 21 Germans will die. The rest will throw down their weapons and surrender. And Leonard Funk will earn the Medal of Honor for one of the most insane acts of combat in World War II. All because he couldn't stop laughing. August 27th, 1916, Braddock Township, Pennsylvania. Leonard Alfred Funk Jr. was born in a steel town. Smokestacks and foundries lining the Monongahela River, 8 miles east of Pittsburgh. He grew up fast. By the time he graduated high school in 1934, he'd already been taking care of his younger brother for years. The Great Depression was grinding through its 5th year. Jobs were scarce. College was impossible. June 1941, Congress extends the draft. Funk's number comes up. He's 24 years old, 5'5", 140 pounds. The Army examiner probably thinks, clerk duty. They're wrong. Funk volunteers for the Paratroopers. In 1941, American Airborne forces barely exist. The concept is new. Jumping out of perfectly good aircraft to land behind enemy lines and fight, surrounded. It sounds like suicide to most soldiers. Airborne training is designed to break you. 5 weeks of brutal conditioning that washes out half the candidates. Then the jump towers. Then the aircraft. The first time you step out of a C-47 at 1,200 feet, everything in your body screams to grab the doorframe. The ground is impossibly far down. Your parachute is just fabric and rope and faith. Funk earns his jump wings. Gets assigned to Company C, 1st Battalion, 508th Parachute Infantry Regiment. By D-Day, he's a squad leader. By war's end, he'll be acting company executive officer. First, he has to survive Normandy. June 6, 1944, 1:30 a.m. The C-47 shudders as flak explodes around it. Funk stands in the stick, the line of paratroopers waiting to jump. 60 pounds of equipment strapped to his body. The aircraft is at 400 feet. Too low for a safe jump. But the pilots can't climb. German anti-aircraft fire is everywhere. The green light comes on. Funk jumps. The prop blast hits him like a truck. Then the chute deploys and the world goes quiet. Below him, France. Occupied France. Enemy territory in every direction. The D-Day airborne operation is chaos from the first minute. German fire has scattered the formations across 50 miles of French countryside. Funk lands hard. His ankle twists on impact, badly sprained, maybe fractured. Every step will be agony for 2 weeks. But he can walk. He can fight. That's all that matters. He's 40 miles from his drop zone, 40 miles of German-held territory, in the dark, alone. Within hours, he's collected 18 lost paratroopers, men from different units, all of them looking for leadership. Funk gives it to them. For 10 days, Funk leads this group through German-held territory, traveling at night, hiding by day, fighting when they have to. He insists on serving as lead scout despite his injured ankle, putting himself in the most dangerous position to protect his men. They link up with Allied forces on June 17th. Every single man survives. Not one casualty. 10 days behind enemy lines. 40 miles of German-occupied France. Leonard Funk brings them all home. The Silver Star, plus a Bronze Star, plus his first Purple Heart. Funk is just getting started. September 17th, 1944, Holland, Operation Market Garden, the largest airborne assault in history. 35,000 paratroopers dropping into the Netherlands to capture bridges across the Rhine. Funk's company secures their objective near Nijmegen. Standard stuff. Then Funk notices something wrong. 3 German 20mm flak guns are firing at incoming Allied gliders. The gliders carry reinforcements, supplies, wounded. If those guns keep firing, hundreds of men will die before they hit the ground. The gun position is dug in on high ground. Approximately 20 German soldiers manning the weapons, sandbags, camouflage, interlocking fields of fire. Funk has 3 men. Standard doctrine says you need 3-to-1 advantage to assault a prepared position. Funk has the opposite. He's outnumbered 7-to-1. He attacks anyway. Leading from the front, Funk and his 3-man patrol assault the German position. They kill the security detachment, storm the gun emplacements, neutralize all 3 weapons and their crews. 20 Germans, 3 Americans. The guns go silent. The gliders land safely. The Distinguished Service Cross, second highest decoration for valor. 1 step below, the Medal of Honor. Most soldiers who earn even 1 DSC are considered heroes for life. Funk still isn't done. December 16th, 1944. The Germans launch their last desperate offensive. 3 armies, 400,000 men, 1,400 tanks. They crash through American lines in the Ardennes forest. The Battle of the Bulge. The weather is brutal. Snow, ice. Temperatures dropping to 5 below zero. Men freeze to death in their foxholes. Then comes Malmédy, December 17th, 1944. 1 day into the offensive. A convoy of American artillery observers runs into an SS armored battle group. After a brief fight, 113 Americans surrender. They're herded into a farmer's field. Hands up. Disarmed. Prisoners of war. Then the SS opens fire. Machine guns. Pistols. Rifles. They shoot them down like cattle. Men who try to run are cut down. Men who fall wounded are finished off with shots to the head. 84. Americans die in that field. The news spreads through the American army within hours. The Germans are executing prisoners. Before Malmédy, the war had rules. Unofficial, unspoken, but real. Soldiers surrendered when the situation was hopeless. Prisoners were treated according to the Geneva Convention. After Malmédy, the rules are gone. When Leonard Funk hears about the massacre, something hardens inside him. He decides he will never surrender to the Germans, no matter what. That decision will matter very soon. January 29th, 1945. The Ardennes. Company C gets orders to capture the Belgian village of Holtzheim. There's a problem. The company is under strength. The executive officer has been killed. They don't have enough men. Funk is now acting XO. He looks at his depleted roster and makes a decision. He walks to the headquarters tent. Inside are clerks, supply personnel, cooks, men who normally never see combat. "You're all infantry now," Funk tells them. "Grab your weapons. We're taking that village." The march to Holtzheim is 15 miles through waist-deep snow. German artillery explodes around them. Funk leads from the front. They reach the village. Funk organizes the assault. His clerks, his makeshift warriors, follow him in. The village has 15 houses. Germans in every one. Machine guns. Rifles. Grenades. Funk and his men clear them all. 30 prisoners captured. Another unit captures 50 more on the other side of town. 80 prisoners total. They're corralled in the yard of a farmhouse. Funk looks at his exhausted men. There's still resistance in other parts of the village. He can only spare 4 men to guard the prisoners. "Keep them here," he tells the guards. "We'll send reinforcements when we can." Funk heads back into the fight. He has no idea what's about to happen behind him. While Funk is clearing the rest of Holtzheim, a German patrol approaches the farmhouse. 10 men wearing white camouflage capes. In the snow and confusion, they look almost identical to American troops. The 4 guards don't realize the danger until it's too late. The Germans overwhelm them, disarm them, force them to their knees. Then they free the prisoners. 80 German soldiers plus the patrol that freed them. 90 men total. They grab weapons from the pile. They organize quickly. They're going to attack Company C from the rear. The German officer in charge begins giving orders. "Position the machine guns here. Set up the ambush there. Wait for my signal." That's when Leonard Funk walks around the corner. Funk has come to check on the prisoners. Routine. Make sure the guards are okay. He rounds the corner and freezes. His 4 guards are on their knees in the snow. The prisoners, who should be unarmed, are standing everywhere with rifles in their hands. The German officer spots Funk immediately. The first sergeant stripes on his sleeve mark him as a leader. The officer strides forward, shoves his MP40 into Funk's stomach, screams a command in German. "Surrender. Drop your weapon." Except Funk doesn't speak German. He has no idea what the officer is saying. The officer screams again, louder. His face is red. Funk looks around. 90 Germans, half of them armed. His 4 men disarmed and helpless. The mathematics of survival are 0. There is no scenario where Leonard Funk wins this fight. He's outnumbered 90-1. The sensible thing is to surrender. But Funk remembers Malmédy. 84 Americans murdered in a field, shot like animals. He's already decided he'll never surrender to the Germans. So instead of complying, Leonard Funk does something inexplicable. He starts laughing. Nobody knows exactly why Funk laughed. Maybe it was a ruse, a deliberate tactic to confuse the enemy. Maybe it was stress. Maybe it was genuine amusement at the absurdity. Funk himself later said he tried to stop laughing but couldn't. Something about the Germans screaming in a language he couldn't understand just struck him as funny. Whatever the reason, the effect is devastating. The German officer screams louder. Funk laughs harder. He bends over, shoulders shaking, calls out to his men, "I don't understand what he's saying." Some of the German soldiers start laughing too. The situation is bizarre. Their officer is turning purple with rage, and this American won't stop cackling. The officer is completely thrown off. This isn't how prisoners behave. They beg. They plead. They comply. They don't stand there laughing while you shove a gun in their stomach. For a few critical seconds, the German officer doesn't know what to do, and Leonard Funk uses those seconds. Still appearing to laugh, Funk slowly reaches up toward his Thompson submachine gun. It's slung over his shoulder, standard carrying position for paratroopers. The German officer watches. Good. The American is finally surrendering his weapon. Funk's hand closes around the grip. He begins to unsling it slowly, carefully. The German relaxes slightly. He's about to have another prisoner. Then Funk moves. In one motion, faster than thought, he swings the Thompson down, brings the muzzle into line, and squeezes the trigger. The M1A1 Thompson fires 45 ACP rounds at 600 per minute. At close range, each round hits like a sledgehammer. The first burst catches the German officer in the chest. 30 rounds in less than 3 seconds. The officer is dead before he hits the ground. Funk Doesn't stop. Can't stop. The moment he started shooting, he committed to killing everyone or dying himself. He pivots, still firing. The Thompson sprays an arc of lead across the German soldiers nearest to him. Men scream. Men fall. Blood sprays across the snow. The magazine runs dry. 30 rounds gone in seconds. This is the critical moment. A Thompson takes 2 seconds to reload if you're practiced. 2 seconds is forever in a firefight. 2 seconds is enough time for 90 Germans to kill 1 American. Funk yanks the empty magazine out, slams a fresh one in, racks the bolt, keeps shooting. The whole sequence takes less than a heartbeat. Muscle memory. At the same time, he's screaming at his men, "Pick up their weapons! Pick up their weapons!" The 4 guards scramble for the rifles the dead Germans have dropped. Seconds ago, they were prisoners. Now they're fighting for their lives. The Germans are in chaos. Their officer is dead. The American who was laughing is now killing them. Nobody knows what to do. Some shoot back. Bullets crack past Funk's head. 1 round kills the soldier, standing beside him. Funk keeps firing, moving, killing. His guards have weapons now. They're shooting too. 60 seconds. That's all it takes. 21 German soldiers lie dead in the snow. 24 more are wounded. The rest, more than 40, have thrown down their weapons and raised their hands. The prisoners are prisoners again. Leonard Funk stands in the middle of the carnage, smoke rising from his Thompson, surrounded by bodies. "That," he says to his men, "was the stupidest thing I've ever seen." Company C secures Holtzheim. The captured Germans are marched to the rear under much heavier guard this time. The story spreads through the regiment, through the division, through the entire 82nd Airborne. The sergeant who laughed at 90 Germans and killed half of them with a Tommy gun. When the Medal of Honor recommendation reaches Washington, nobody questions it. The official citation reads, "He was ordered to surrender by a German officer who pushed a machine pistol into his stomach." Although overwhelmingly outnumbered and facing almost certain death, First Sergeant Funk, pretending to comply with the order, began slowly to unsling his submachine gun from his shoulder, and then with lightning motion brought the muzzle into line and riddled the German officer. September 5, 1945. The White House. President Harry Truman places the Medal of Honor around Leonard Funk's neck. "I would rather have this medal," Truman says, "than be President of the United States." Let's count what Leonard Funk earned during World War II. Medal of Honor for Holtzheim. Distinguished Service Cross for the anti-aircraft guns in Holland. Silver Star for leading 18 men through 40 miles of enemy territory in Normandy. Bronze Star for meritorious service. 3 Purple Hearts. Wounded 3 times and kept fighting. Plus, the Croix de Guerre from France. The Order of Leopold from Belgium. The Military Order of William from the Netherlands. Leonard Funk is the most decorated paratrooper of World War II. 5'5", 140 pounds. A former store clerk who became a legend. The war ends. Funk goes home. He doesn't write a book. Doesn't do the lecture circuit. Doesn't turn his Medal of Honor into a speaking career. He goes back to Pennsylvania and gets a job with the Veterans Administration, helping other veterans navigate paperwork, processing disability claims, cutting through red tape for men who'd given everything, the same kind of clerk work he did before the war. For 27 years, Leonard Funk sits at a desk and helps veterans. He becomes division chief of the Pittsburgh Regional Office. His wife Gertrude sticks with him through all of it. They have 2 daughters. The Medal of Honor hangs in a case somewhere. He never talks about it. When people ask about Holtzheim, about the laughing, about the 90 Germans, he shrugs it off. Did what I had to do. That's it. That's all he ever says. November 20th, 1992. Braddock Hills, Pennsylvania. Leonard Alfred Funk Jr. dies of cancer. He's 76 years old. They bury him at Arlington National Cemetery. Section 35. Grave, 23734. Among the heroes of every American war. At the time of his death, he's the last surviving Medal of Honor recipient from the 82nd Airborne Division in World War II. A fitness center at Fort Liberty is named after him. A highway in Pennsylvania bears his name. A post office in McKeesport was dedicated to him in 2023. But most people have never heard of Leonard Funk. Here's what his story tells us. War doesn't favor the big. It doesn't favor the strong. It doesn't favor the reckless or the fearless. War favors the ones who keep thinking when everyone else has stopped. At Holtzheim, Leonard Funk had every reason to surrender. The math was impossible. 90 against 1. A gun in his stomach. His men already captured. Any rational person would have given up. But Funk wasn't thinking about the math. He was thinking about Malmédy. About 84 Americans murdered in a field. About what the Germans did to prisoners. And he was thinking about his men. The 4 guards on their knees. The soldiers scattered across the village who would be hit from behind if these Germans escaped. So he laughed. Maybe as a tactic. Maybe from stress. Maybe because the whole thing struck him as absurd. And while the German officer was confused, while everyone was off balance, Leonard Funk made his move. 60 seconds later, he was standing in a field of bodies, alive when he should have been dead. There's a quote President Truman said to Leonard Funk. September 5th, 1945, the White House Rose Garden. I would rather have this medal than be President of the United States. Think about that. The most powerful man in the world. The man who had just ended World War II. Looking at a 5'5" former store clerk from Pennsylvania and saying, I'd rather be you. Because what Truman understood is this. Courage isn't about size or strength or training. Courage is what you do when there's a gun in your stomach and 90 men want you dead. If this story moved you, hit that like button right now. Every like tells YouTube to show this to more people who need to hear it. Subscribe and turn on notifications. We're bringing forgotten WW2 heroes back to life every single day. Drop a comment and tell us where you're watching from. You're not just watching. You're keeping these heroes' memories alive. Thank you for watching, and thank you for making sure Leonard Funk is never forgotten.